Imagine checking your bank account and all you see are countless small charges, each representing a different subscription you signed up for when you knew no better. Streaming services, software tools, meal kits, a fitness app, fuck, even your toothbrush refill is on the way. What was once touted as a convenience is now a consistent drain to your wallet and mental energy. Hell, even your budgeting apps that vow to help you reduce your subscriptions have a subscription. Yes, we're looking at you, Rocket Money. The promise of seamless access and unlimited choices is quickly being overshadowed by the growing annoyance of managing multiple subscriptions, each with its own billing cycle and the inevitable price hike right when you forget you even had the service to begin with. As the subscription economy reaches its peak, a backlash is brewing. People are beginning to question, is the convenience worth the cost? What's even worse, these same subscription services that consumers are tired of seem to be making their way into the content creator economy. Watcher Entertainment has been getting dog-walked online as they pledge their goodbyes to YouTube, leaving the market that grew their fan base for a new home, their own personal streaming service. For just $5.99 a month, you can watch all of your videos you previously watched for free on their new streaming platform. People are fed up with the idea of access over ownership. Subscription fatigue is at an all-time high.
Things that we find valuable weigh less and less. More and more of their value is in the things that don't have any weight or mass.
$15 a month. $18 a month. $12 a month.
You can become a member of Watcher for $5.99 a month or $59.99 a year.
We want to keep the price low enough where anybody and everybody is able to afford it.
And we can kind of imagine pushing this to some far logical extreme where maybe some individual in the future doesn't really own very much of anything. They can access or subscribe to everything in their lives.
If you are unaware of what has happened the past few weeks with Watcher Entertainment, don't worry, I'll fill you in quickly. Ryan and Shane from the massively successful YouTube series on BuzzFeed Unsolved, which if you've never seen it before is described as a humorous take on unsolved crimes, hauntings, and historical mysteries, as a conspiracy theorist tries to convince his skeptical friend that evidence isn't always what it appears to be. Basically, if you've never seen the show, two dudes go into haunted and scary environments to uncover the truth or tell the story of some unsolved mystery. Majority of the time, these environments are pretty scary, and it's especially scary at 2 a.m. Shane was the sarcastic one, not scared at all, and Ryan was the much more serious, scared one that wanted to run away at the drop of a pin. It honestly made for arguably one of the greatest YouTube series ever. Now, why does this matter? Well, they decided to split from BuzzFeed and start their own thing up around 2019. Nope, you're not crazy. People leaving BuzzFeed has happened literally a dozen times. Candace Lowry left for creative freedom and to build her own path. Sophia Nygaard cited lack of independence and dissatisfaction with management decisions. Chris wanted to focus on higher quality content. Kenny Moffett sought more control over his videos and more time for personal projects. Allison Raskin and Gabby Dunn were concerned about intellectual property rights and wanted to retain their best ideas for future use. So what makes Ryan and Shane different? Well, these two, they left BuzzFeed to become BuzzFeed. Well, not really, but damn near, kinda, yeah. They, and by they, I mean Ryan, Shane, and Stephen Lim, who came over from BuzzFeed shortly after Ryan and Shane did. They state that the budget is one of the biggest reasons for the move away from YouTube. The new home of Watcher Entertainment would be on their own site where you can subscribe for just $6 a month.
Costs a certain amount to make content in the way that we do it. We have to travel to the location itself. We have to pay the location fee. We have to pay freelance staff that comes to help us shoot that when we're shooting in the studio. We have to pay for the studio to shoot the actual episode in. Then we have to pay for post. Before that, we also have to do the pre-production of the episode. And when you add that all up, we're talking about an end of a season that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars.
You can become a member of Watcher for $5.99 a month or $59.99 a year.
Hey everyone, we messed up.
This obviously backfired something crazy, so much so in fact that Watcher had to release an update to their very first public announcement. You might be asking yourself, what were some of the main reasons why people were upset? Well, honestly, it was a few different things. Price, obviously a main issue, and the statement that they tried to price it so anyone could afford it. Yeah, that just didn't go over really well. The fact that they listed quality and production as a main expense didn't really sit right with people. No one wanted better quality or 15 cameras. That was a decision you guys made creatively. One person commented, "You made us rich, but not rich enough," with a sad face, talking from the perspective of the Watcher team. And another person saying the quiet part out loud, quote, quote, so to recap, you overhired, leased an egregiously and needlessly large studio space in one of the most expensive cities in the world and have exhausted all other means of monetization as a result. Basically, you pulled a BuzzFeed. Further illustrating my point. So the fact that Watcher Entertainment is slowly morphing into a BuzzFeed, but a paid version of it, was the last straw for a lot of people. I also want to mention too that someone in the comments mentioned this could have all been avoided by a simple YouTube poll, and that's honestly hilarious and insanely accurate. But back to the topic at hand. After Watcher Entertainment took the backlash from the near 80,000 comments on the first Goodbye YouTube video, they made an update. They vowed to keep the content free under certain scenarios, like delayed uploads from the new platform to ensure fans could still watch content on YouTube, but nevertheless, they would be continuing on with the transition to their own streaming platform. But this got me thinking about the grand scheme of subscription services and how literally every company implements it at some point in their life cycle, or at least dreams about a day in which they can move their consumers to a paid subscription plan, much like Watcher Entertainment did here in this scenario. Upon digging to see if anyone agreed with my theory, I was met with a phrase titled subscription fatigue. And well, the rabbit hole just kept on going. Before we get into this week's video though, I just want to say I apologize for being on a bit of hiatus. There's been a lot of things going on in my personal life, but hopefully we can get back to the consistent uploads over the next few weeks. I also want to mention, if you ever want to read these videos instead of watching them, or if you ever just want to subscribe to my newsletter, you can hit that first link in the description and it'll take you to my website where you can sign up for the newsletter. Every Monday I release Out the Loop, which is my newsletter, where it's about 5 to 7 stories from the previous week and light commentary just to kind of catch you up in case you missed anything. It serves as a good way to kind of, chew through the commute, or maybe you're at work on lunch, you just want to read over something quickly. Again, those always drop every Monday, but let's get back into the video. So how did everything become a subscription? Well, it doesn't take a brainiac to discover that subscription services as a business model is highly profitable for the business implementing it. Consistent revenue provided by the subscriptions help companies scale quickly. And on the flip side, there's a huge benefit for the consumers as well. For example, back in the day, you had to buy Adobe products from a store for a few $100, then take it home, download it, and you would have that version of that software forever. No subscription, no licensing, you just own the product from that day onward. The only problem, when a new version released, you would have to fork over another couple $100 because you weren't going to get the luxury of updates for your one-time fee. Nowadays, you subscribe to Adobe and are granted access to their Creative Cloud, but instead of one program at X amount of dollars, you are given some updates for as long as your subscription is active. So you keep up with the latest and greatest features, but you're paying for access, not ownership. So don't get me wrong, subscription services definitely have a place in the world today, but we all know when things make money, they can quickly get in the hands of greedy businesses that will do anything for more profit. Want to meditate with a meditation app? That'll be $15 a month. Bought a brand new whip off the lot and want to turn on your heated seats? That'll be $18 a month. Just bought a brand new printer and have plenty of ink in the cartridge? Oh wait, you didn't pay the $6 printer fee? You can't print. The list goes on and on of corporations selling you a product, but then making you subscribe on a monthly basis to either access the whole package, or even worse, access the complete product in general. I'm looking at you, Ring camera. I do want to be fair though and give developers a fair chance to defend themselves. I found a quote by a Reddit user that details why developers charge monthly subscriptions, especially when they have apps in the App Store. The App Store is full of app carcasses because the developers didn't make any money. They realized they would charge $3 one time and then let their app die, or they could capture a smaller audience that's willing to actually pay for hard work and keep their app alive. A lot are choosing option B. It's not hard to see both sides here. One side makes a product and needs to monetize it, no harm, no foul. One side gets the benefit from whatever service the subscription is providing. But when does it become too much? Subscription fatigue. What is subscription fatigue? According to Digital Root, subscription fatigue is a phenomenon that occurs when consumers feel overwhelmed and frustrated by the increasing number of subscription services and products available to them. The last part is the sticking point for me and many others. The very first recorded subscription service was in 1856. A popular sewing machine company, Singer, created the world's first subscription-based model for its latest product. You could rent a sewing machine for just $3 a month after a $5 $100 deposit. Fast forward nearly a century and a half later, the software industry sees the opportunity of a lifetime. Salesforce popularized the software as a service, or SaaS, causing the whole industry to adapt. The SaaS industry has gone crazy, and recent predictions have SaaS surpassing $520 billion as a market in 2025. So with that said, it's not just Netflix, Watcher Entertainment, Hulu, or other media streaming platforms coming for your bank account every month. We have to worry about essentially every service and product in the world asking for a few dollars a month. Gaming with Xbox's Game Pass and Sony's PlayStation Pass, Amazon Prime for premium delivery functions, Canva for web-based graphic design. And honestly, the list goes on and on and on, but these are just common examples that people know about. Note that I said products too and not just services. There are a ton of physical products that require your banking information to function how they were meant to when you bought them. Tile, Ring, Whoop, Peloton, Simply Safe, HP printers, Aura rings, Remarkable. Like, bro, it's literally insane. And there's so many more. The list just never ends. Yes, some of these products can be operated without the need for a subscription. But to me, if you're locking functionality or tools behind a paywall after I already forked over a couple of $100, it just doesn't sit right with me. This shit is even making its way into live sports. Thought cable or YouTube TV was all you needed to watch NFL games? Think again. If you want to watch every NFL game this season, it will cost you nearly $1,000 and require 5 different streaming services. The days of buying NFL Sunday Ticket and being able to watch any and every game are over with. The NFL is officially all in on streaming services. Thursday Night Football already airs exclusively on Amazon Prime and has exclusive rights to 1 playoff game. The NFL and Netflix just inked a deal for 2 Christmas games this upcoming season. ESPN Plus will also host an undecided game at some point this year. And Peacock has already done this last season, but will once again have exclusive games behind a paywall. Want to watch the season opener with the Packers and Eagles in Brazil? That'll be $5.99 a month or $11.99 with no ads. The worst part about all of this, last year when Peacock and the NFL did this, nearly 70% of people forgot to unsubscribe the following month. So now if you want to get together with your friends for the big game, you best make sure to ask them if they have the correct streaming service in place before pulling up.
But if you look at the schedule for next year, there's games on 11 different channels. You need 4 different subscription services. You need Netflix, Amazon Prime, Peacock, and ESPN Plus, which all have exclusive games you can't watch anywhere else.
Insane.
Cable or YouTube TV or something like that to watch most of the games. And then you need Sunday Ticket to be able to watch everything, right? So if you add all that stuff up, you're looking at $986.
Sheesh.
And look, maybe some people came back and they said, you don't need it all for 6 months. Okay, get rid of ESPN Plus after the month that you need it for the game. Get rid of Netflix if you really want to and don't have it already. Same thing with, Peacock. You're still looking at $700-800 for the year, whereas we used to live in a time where all you really needed was a cable package and Sunday Ticket, right? You needed 2 things. And now what the NFL has done is they've seen that they can take individual games, marquee games, create these events out of them, like
Damn right.
Day, obviously Thanksgiving, Black Friday, so forth.
Damn right.
Sell them to individual networks, get $100
Quick $100
per game, depending
Quick $100 they don't care.
when, and make a tremendously more amount of money than they would have previously by doing that to fans. And look, people say they're going to get oversaturated. There's going to be subscription fatigue.
No, they won't.
But they've been saying that for years, right? This
NFL is the biggest it's ever been.
Years now, and the NFL arguably has only gotten stronger over the years. And I don't think that's going to be slowing down anytime soon.
You best believe other sports will soon follow. Whatever makes money makes sense. So be prepared for soccer, basketball, baseball to come through with the same kind of stuff soon. If you're a consumer who is fed up with this bullshit, then we would assume we can't be the only ones, right? People will eventually gain this subscription fatigue and start dropping some of these services, especially in today's economy, right? Unfortunately, that just has not been the case. The subscription market is set to reach $1.5 trillion by 2025. So if consumers aren't doubling down with their wallets, these businesses will continue to laugh on the way to the bank.
There's nothing I hate more than seeing a subscription charge come out of my bank account. When they
God.
It doesn't just feel like a withdrawal. It feels like they're snatching it. It feels like and then after they come out, they kind of like flex on you a little bit. That's
getting Debo.
Like to me. And I don't
getting checked.
I don't even know what all of these charges, like Apple Services Inc., like what is it? What did I pay for? I don't even know. Which one is this? iCloud?
Apple's the worst, bro. It don't even, half the time it doesn't even tell you. Like if you sign up through Apple and you just have your bank card linked, it just says $9.99 a month. Apple, like it gives you no details.
Apple Care. If Apple cared, it wouldn't snatch that bread out of my account.
Oh my mama.
Negative. Like damn, my shit. I only had $4 in the account. You took $6. They don't take it in a nice way. There has to be a nicer way because I'm about to develop PTSD from these ACH withdrawals. I ain't gonna lie, I hate it. And it feels like it always happens in the morning. It always blows my day. Like I wake up, it's the first charge. I'm already starting the day in the negative. I already lost money today. Like, damn. There's gotta be a nice way for them to get this bread. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna figure it out. For some of this shit, I'd be like, that's it, I'm canceling this shit. Then 29 days go by and I forget or I don't, and then I just get charged again, and it's like...
We're living in crazy times. Subscription services, especially in media, are getting so wild now that if you want to subscribe to every service, the price adds up to about the same as cable TV. The whole premise behind Netflix, Hulu, and other services was to cut cable because streaming was so cheap. Now with YouTube TV and all the other streaming platforms and other necessities on a month-by-month basis like music and tools for work, people have had enough of being extorted every month. The solution? Pirating. The rise of piracy. With people at their wits' end with streaming services and their subscription platforms, there has been one beneficiary to this whole mess: digital pirates. These digital pirates strip legitimate services like Netflix, traditional TV, live sporting events, and redistribute that content on their own platforms. This shadow industry accomplishes this by having a ton of sketchy ads on their website and even sometimes requiring people to pay monthly. The price can range anywhere from like $5 to $50 a month. It's nowhere near as expensive as having all streaming services combined, and you literally get everything and some. There have actually been a lot of notable influencers that have openly said that they have no issues with pirating and at times actually promote it. There's a flip side as well, with Dana White hating them because they ruined his pay-per-view numbers.
You mentioned the other day on Instagram you have a surprise waiting for the pirates in the sport. Do you mind giving us a little hint what that is?
We've been one of the leagues that has been so proactive on piracy, and I love how cool and tough these guys act on social media. Because let me tell you what, we've caught a lot of people, and let me tell you what they do. They cry and they cry and they beg not to be prosecuted and all this other stuff. So we just overcame a huge hurdle in the piracy world, and we're gonna catch some of these guys in 2021, and I look forward to the crying and the...
With no production costs, these illegal streaming sites and apps are running it the fuck up. They're achieving near 90% profit margins, and the total industry of pirated streams is nearing $2 billion in yearly revenue, in turn causing these other streaming platforms to lose about $30 billion in revenue every year. This article from Bloomberg perfectly illustrates just how serious this piracy thing is getting. In the US, which accounts for almost 130 subscription piracy sites, the MPA estimates that the top 3 combined have about 2 million users paying $5 to $10 a month for films, TV shows, and live sports. Analysis say that the user number could soar as the cost of subscriptions from legitimate companies such as Walt Disney Co. with Disney Plus approach $20 per month as they seek to bolster the finances of their streaming platforms. Some of these pirate websites have gotten more daily visits than some of the top 10 legitimate sites, says Karen Temple, the MPA's general counsel. That really shows how prolific they are. Some of these sites are so iconic that mega celebrities like LeBron James and Neymar have been caught red-handed using them. And if you're wondering, yes, this is exactly what Omi and the Hellcat got caught up for. Omi was gaining hella traction on YouTube, buying a new car every other video, badass chains on, hella houses, anything and everything he wanted. When he popped on YouTube, people were wondering, how the fuck did this man get so rich? It couldn't be the YouTube money because he came into it with money. Well, some short time after that, the FBI hit his ass with that cable piracy case for his Gears TV streaming business. At his peak, he was said to have 100,000 subscribers and bought in around 1.5 million a month. He's now unfortunately doing 5.5 years in prison. Free Omi. Just taking a look at some of the comments from the internet and their take on streaming services charging an arm and a leg, it's no surprise to hear how quickly piracy is gaining momentum again. One commenter saying, if no one got me, then Stream East got me. Stream East being one of the biggest pirating websites out there right now, the one that LeBron was caught using. Another commenter saying, nah, you just need one of them jailbroken Fire Sticks. And he's referring to the operation that Omi ran, jailbreaking or hacking Amazon Fire Sticks so that they can watch media for free. How do people who are pirating feel? Quote, if paying isn't owning, piracy isn't stealing. I'm telling you, people are tired of gaining access rather than purchasing to own. Valve's founder, Gabe Newell, has a very famous quote. One thing that we have learned is that privacy is not a pricing issue, it's a service issue. Look, I'm saying all this to say, if these corporations and streaming platforms don't get it right, then people will continue to look other places to satisfy their hunger. Search through half a dozen streaming platforms to find a TV show or hop onto a server that has tens of thousands of titles available all in one central location. Anytime customers feel they get a worse experience as a paying customer than one that piracy provides, more and more people will go that route. Give you money for a worse experience? you're out of your damn mind. I'm sorry. Pay $1,000 to watch a couple NFL games every Sunday, or flip on a stream that has 4K out the gate that isn't locked behind a paywall. To me, honestly, the choice is simple, but how do you feel? The subscription team up. What are businesses doing to mitigate losses to piracy? They're teaming up.
Chismosas, I really feel like I'm being punked right now because I just went on Twitter minding my own beeswax as always, and I saw this. Netflix, Apple TV Plus, and Peacock will team up to form their own streaming bundle through Comcast. Will be offered at a vastly reduced price.
Whoa.
Hulu, Disney Plus, and Max are joining to do the same exact thing.
That's it. They realized that, you know what, we tried to do this thing on our own and we all wanted to be on our own thing. The best way to combat piracy, the best way to get people signing up again is to just combine forces and have really, really big libraries of content. And if you don't think this is due to low sign up rates and the rise of piracy, then honestly, I don't know what to tell you. These platforms seem to be understanding a standalone service may not be the answer that they were looking for. Disney Plus has burned $11 billion since it first launched, and subscribers have been dropping even more since its latest price hike. Watcher Entertainment, how the hell are you going to survive in a market like this when no one wants to subscribe to standalone streaming services unless you're Netflix?
In 2024, these three companies are going to team up to create one streaming service that includes only sports. The very first question I had about this when I started to read into it was why? We already have ESPN Plus, the Fox Sports app, and YouTube TV, but ESPN says they want to give the fans a new sports-centric service to those fans who have cut the cord from traditional pay TV. Surely this means if you already pay for Disney Plus, Hulu, Max, or ESPN Plus, you would get this new streaming service, right? Not so fast. This is going to be an entirely new subscription service that you can get with a bundle with the other three streaming services.
Absolute insanity. There's always a caveat, right? Piracy, there's no caveat. What do you want? Go find it. You can have it for free. Even when these streaming platforms combine forces, they still manage to somehow fuck it up. ESPN, Fox, Warner Brothers teaming up like the Avengers. Still doesn't honestly move the needle for me personally, but you see where the market is trending. It's rare to find anyone willing to pay $10 a month for that single sports subscription. The market is way too fragmented for it to make sense. Maybe this new trio starts a snowball effect and we see more networks getting into this. 55% of total US sports between these three mega companies. It's honestly a good start. Piracy isn't the only reason these streaming services are teaming up either. Prices for ad-free subscriptions have met the cost of average cable TV of $83 a month for the first time. Calculations done by the Financial Times have found that a bundle of the top US streaming services, including Disney Plus, Hulu, Netflix, and Peacock, rose in price from $73 to $87 over the course of last year. It's important to note that these calculations were also done against basic cable that of course supports ads, so the ad-free subscriptions do get a leg up in that regard. But even the point of them getting close in price is honestly absurd to me. Cable cutting was huge a few years ago for the amount of money that could be saved and how accessible streaming was. The price of things has me thinking we're taking some steps back in the whole space instead of getting progressively better. But in conclusion, I want everyone watching this video to keep their head on a swivel. Please, for me, unsubscribe to a couple of your subscriptions, like right now after this video. Trust me, you'll live through it. The promise of seamless access and infinite choices has infiltrated our wallets. Do not be one of the ones that got. It's time to take a hard look at what you're paying for each month, find what adds value to our lives, and cut the excess. Hopefully these companies see the writing on the wall and get it together ASAP, no Rocky. What do you think though? What services have you already cut the cord on? What services can you just not seem to shake? Jump into the conversation below. I'm really eager to hear what you guys have to say. Until next time, remember, you can always get my content in written form on my website linked in the description. I also will drop you a newsletter every Monday with 5 to 7 interesting stories throughout the week. Appreciate you guys jumping into this conversation and fucking with your boy. I'll tap in soon.